You're looking so cute. You're looking so cute.
I know she looks great, eh?
Oh, I'm working.
Is it like a 22nd birthday or something?
Is it?
Why do you look like your child and not yourself? Don't you look like a teen over there?
Yeah, no, you're glowing still.
Friday, so she's ready. Yes.
Funny.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. We'll leave her alone. Let's let her start.
Sorry.
Okay, so Tiff, you're gonna. I guess we're gonna go back and forth with each other on this.
Hold on. Tell my husband that I'm on a call right now. Bubs, please go.
Oh my gosh, my computer's running so slow. Okay, here we go. Perfect.
Yeah, we're gonna go back and forth. I'll go through the trade setups, meaning like we'll go into gold, we'll mark them up. I'll do the whole little fib tool thing, my support and resistance, the sweet spot. And then we'll see. I believe some of us are still locked in gold, and then we can see where we're going if we're gonna be locked in there till Sunday night. But whatever, we'll ride this out.
So for me, I've been doing this just over 2 months, and really started getting into it like a month ago, doing HFX and the Forex. I'll be honest, in the last month, now that I found gold, I've kind of left HFX alone. And I'm just doing the Forex right now. And now I'm at the point where it's just like, I love gold. Gold seems to have the most flexibility, and it has the least amount of spread too, which means the payouts are a lot higher. So when you guys are on your MT4, maybe you can share your screen, Tiff, from yours. Yeah. But when you're on your MT4 and you pair, to the left-hand side, run underneath the pair, it tells you what the spread is. A lot of times when trades are announced, I always look to see what the spread is. So the spread is basically the two pairs against each other. So the top line is usually whatever the first pair is. So for example, for gold, it would be XAU. And then the bottom line is always whatever the second one is going to be USD. So the spread are those two lines that your entry line has to pass back and forth through. So the spread, if it's small, it's going to be like this, which means it can pass your entry point a hell of a lot faster than if your spread is like this. So sometimes when I'm on the US 30 trade, the spreads are like this, which means I've got to stay in that trade a hell of a lot longer, because it's got to pass, say, my entry point right here. It's got to be able to go up or go down to activate it, or for me to make any money on it. Gold spread is very marginal, which means it moves a hell of a lot faster, and you can jump in and jump out and jump in and jump out. So a lot of Forex traders like to trade on gold because everything is traded against gold. Gold was the currency, way back when, during the war and everything like that. That's what gold was before, an actual dollar came about. So gold is kind of like the tried, trusted, and true when it comes to moving. And it's one of the only one that stays consistent on its daily average as well. What I found, and in just doing a lot of reading too, when you're trading gold, the best times to do trading for it is pretty much between 9:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. because that's the one time that it's going to cross over with all the other elements of all the other pairs. And it's going to fluctuate up and down the most because it kind of works with the stock market as well. And that's the most viable time to trade it. And I found just some past trades that I've done, anything that I've won big on has been in that time period. When I look back in MT4 and I'm able to look at the time of my entries, it's always been in that time bracket. Anything that I've entered at nighttime, I find I can't go in and out of, and then I'm sitting on it and I'm sleeping on it. And I have to wake up and then just monitor again. And then I'm closing out during that 9:30 to 1:30. Now, the great thing with gold is that it moves fast. The only thing is you have to have time if you're going to go into that trade. Again, especially between that 9:30 and 1, because it could hit your TP and then all of a sudden it's going to go, and then it's going to go right back up. So what you want to be able to do is jump in on the slide. So when you're going in for a buy, you go in at the highest point, and then it's going to drop down. You're going to get your take profit. And then usually if I do a take profit 1, by the time it gets to a take profit 2, I'm now going in. Well, sorry, when you're going in for a sell, at the take profit 2, I turn around and I go in for a buy. So this morning I did gold. I was in and out 5 times on it. So I went on the high, and then I went on the low, and back on the high, back on the low, back on the high. And then I started to see that the market really started to move all the way up again. So I jumped out, and now I'm going to leave it alone because I'm looking at the time and I'm like, you know what, just proper management. I try not to trade it after like 1 o'clock type of thing. And if I get into a trade right now, I find I'm going to be sitting on it. So I just stop altogether. The other great thing about gold too is taking multiple entries. Pretty much, I want to say 90% of what we call out is pretty damn accurate. So knowing that is sometimes it's if you don't have the big lot sizes to put in. So I typically would put $1. So like 50 cents, 70 cents, $1 be my top. And what I'll do is I'll go in at 2 or 3 entries at the same time. So instead of saying going in at $5, I'll do 2 or 3 entries at, the 0.5 because it's still going to be the same payout. And then I've got 3 running. And then again, I hit it on the high and then I hit it back on the low again. And I do it that way. Tiff, do you want to pull up like a chart and we'll show how we market and then talk about the highs and the lows?
For sure.
So yesterday in the group too, I sent out a chart just with regards to like the time periods and when trading is the best. Again, if you guys can follow that when you're looking at taking any of the pairs that we call out with the gold, that's going to be your most viable period to be, again, in and out of a trade. Anything after that 9:30 to 1:30, it's going to fluctuate up and down, up and down. You're going to make your money the most. But if you take a trade at night, anytime like in an evening, early evening or overnight, you don't have to watch it the same. You can just stay in it because it's not going to fluctuate as much.
So you use RSI, right? I'm going to get the RSI.
Yes.
RSI and stats, you guys kind of like it's the same almost, but it's just your preference, okay? What you like. But Lisa's gonna tell you, where the hell did it go? The reason why and the numbers. Okay, hold on. So what I do here first for gold, I do support and resistance and I do the fib tool, okay? So the fib tool obviously comes from Cobain. I'm not the greatest at the fib tool. I'm not as meaning my numbers are as accurate, but they're enough where I'm still in my zones of demand and supply. So I'm going to show you what I do first for support and resistance. The present candle. So you guys see we're on gold 1 day. And so my present candle right now, there is 4 hours and 40 minutes left, okay, on this daily. So what I like to do is I take my horizontal line on the left side. Don't worry, you guys, we'll run through a class like this. I'm just going to do it fast so you can see it. And then I do the top of the body of the candle. And I use red and green for my support and my resistance. The ceiling's red, the floor is green. You can pick your own colors, what you guys want to do. I will put another red line. If you guys can see here, I would put another red line on the top of the wick. So there's a little wick there on the top right there. I'm going to put another red line there. So I always put one on the top of the body and wherever the wick has gotten. So what I'll do is I'll take the horizontal line and I'll pop it there. The next one I'm going to do green. So I'm on the bottom of this candle right over here. And I'm going to change that to green. And then I'm going to take another horizontal line. Every time you need to use the horizontal line, you need to click on it. It's so whack. All right. Now that I have this done here, you guys, okay, this is the 1 day. I go straight to the 1 hour because the 1 hour, I need to do a lot here. This is where I do my fib tool. And this is where I also do I look at my support and my resistance. Okay. So I'm just going to move this a little bit around. So, flat tops, when you guys start to understand that this is where it pivots. This is a pivot when you have a flat bottom, okay? That's a pivot. So what I'm going to do is, obviously the lowest this has been is saying it's over here, but I'm going to move this slightly to the bottom of this red candle for the last hour, you guys, because each one of these is an hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up here, this is up to like 10 hours here, almost 10 hours. So I'm going to say about here, about up to here. I'm going to move this up. There we are. We're good. Then this, I'm going to bring this green candle, this green line down to this low pivot here, because you can see that it's been respecting this line a little. You seen that here? It respects it, right? You guys seen that? Hasn't passed through. And then over here, this is our low. So in this zone here is my floor. Okay. My buy zone. My buy zone is right here. Now let's look at my sell zone. I am going to move this over here, this red, up into here, up on top there. And what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to leave my red zone here. I'll leave it here. I'll probably maybe put it a little bit higher to the tip here, to that top. I'm going to leave it here. So in here, this is my sell zone. right in here. And this is my buy zone. So this is my support and my resistance for my 1 hour chart. Okay. So this is done. I'm going to show you also, guys, this blue line here is my moving average of 200 candles. So this is letting me know what the market's doing past 200 candles. So it's letting me know that gold is on a uptrend on the 1 hour chart for the last 200 candles. All right, you guys are seeing. So we made this minimize. We're seeing that here. It's been in this area up until July 6th. It's been loving this area. Okay. This has been the sell zones. And look what's happening. If you guys look at my super trend, as you can see, sell zone got closed, sell in here. You seeing that? And these are my buy zones. We're pretty accurate. My markups are good, you guys. Okay, so now that my support and my resistance, here we are. So now the next thing is this fib tool, okay? Lowest point to the highest point. So right now our lowest point is pretty much here, you guys, and our highest point is up here. So we are going to be looking, we want to be going in for buys, just say, right? So we need to find the demand. So I'm going to take it from here to up in here. So I'm going to look for my fib tool right here. So my fib tool's already, the number's already done. If you guys need to copy it, we can do that too. But I'm going to take the fib tool here and I'm going to drag it up into here and then run it to the side. Just like that. Maybe a little bit more. Are we good? Why is this up here? Like why? Okay. Then I'm going to take, I like to use blue for my demand lines, okay? So you see this number here, this red and that red line here. So I'm going to put one line there and I'm going to change that to blue. And I'm going to take another horizontal. Yeah.
Sorry, can you zoom it in a bit more?
Yeah. 1 second. I'm going to do this blue too. So let me zoom in a little. So the first line, skip the middle line, the third line. Seen that? Then my 50 to 60%. So I'm going to make a little box. That's my sweet spot. And it's right here. And my sweet spot is right over here. I'm just going to drag that over there like this. Oops. All right. Then I'm going to delete this, remove the fib. So you guys, my fib tool's gone. So what I'm going to do is, what I would like to do is I'm going to put a text in here and I write demand. I'm going to move that in here. And then I'm going to need another text. I'm going to write, oops, sweet spot. And I'm going to put that, oops, I moved this, oops, whatever. I just need the words, okay? You guys, I'm not the best computer savvy person, but I can get by. Okay, so now that I did the demand, this is my sweet spot for the buy, okay? Let me find out where the supply is, okay? So let's see if our supply, meaning where our sell zones and pretty demand, where it's supposed to be with this whole fib tool. So we're gonna go backwards. So I'm gonna go back smaller like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it down now. So I'm gonna take this fib tool and I'm gonna see that was my top part here. And I'm gonna bring this down to here. Oh, and then I'm gonna do the exact same things. So I'm gonna cover this red line here, and this is gonna be orange for me, you guys. You can pick whatever color you like. And this one's gonna be orange too. And then my sweet spot for the sell is gonna be here, but I don't do that because at this point, I'm only really looking for buys majority of the time when I'm doing these things. Not to say majority of the time, I'm following the trend, okay? So if you're doing like at least how we go sells and buys, this would be a good idea for you to do that. So you would rectangle this like this, drop it like here. And I would color that in red so you know that's for your sell sweet spot. And then I'm going to remove this and it's gone. And I'm going to put my text into here. Oops. And I'm going to write supply. And I'm going to put dots right in there. And then I just leave that color red, whatever. Okay, so now looking at this right now. So to me, we're like, okay, we're on the 1 hour right now on gold. So we know that this area, in this area, when it touches this red zone, it's been respecting it. It may pop up in here, we may be in the red zone, but when it's in here, it's going to drop. So to me is if I'm playing the field, as you can see how it's been respecting these areas, this is where you know when to come in for your buy. I also wait for a signal and then, or to come in for your sell. Another thing, what I like to do is go in from the 1 hour to the 15. And as you can see, my Bollinger Bands, you guys, because you guys know 90% of price stays in these Bollinger Bands. So now you can see they're open. So you know this is moving up. And Lisa's going to talk about that with the RSI when she talks about this, where she knows where this is going to stop pretty much, but literally in our supply area. You know, ceiling, supply. This is where we know we're going to hit our boom, and then we're going to come back in, and then boom, go back in, and then go back up because it's been bouncing in this area. This is literally how the market moves. All right, Lisa.
Okay, so if you look at the RSI, which is your bottom graph, let me see if I can actually share my screen on my phone here.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop my screen, then you can try.
Where am I? Where's my code? If I can do share. Okay, I don't know what you guys, can you see is my MT4 trader up now?
Okay, I see it.
Okay, so at the bottom here, the graph that's going up and down, and I've got a green line. So basically, and this is the math, I can zoom in a bit here. This is the mathematical equation on gold. So at the very bottom here, where it says June 29th, 1500, if you guys can see that. Did I zoom in enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's better,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, see how you have that. So my green line is like the trend line. And then I've got the 30% and the 70% marks. So at the 30%, when that green line crosses over, it's pretty much gonna go right back up. And if you follow this along and I zoom out, it's gonna go right back up until it hits that 70%. And then once it hits that 70% and goes over, then it's gonna go back down. Now here's a good example. So it touched it, but it did not go over. So it went back down again, and then right here, I'll zoom in, it goes over just marginally, and it kind of asks itself like, do I really want to do this? And then it goes all the way back down again. But see here, it didn't touch, so then it went right back up again because it plays in the market. So gold really has to touch above that 70% line for it to go in for a sell. And then it really has to touch the bottom green line, and there should be one here. So it touched here, and then it's going to go back up for a buy. Now, the red line is your support line on that graph. If that green line follows that red line, it's going to be what's called a hard sell or a hard buy, meaning it's going to drop. And if you look above at the candles, that red line followed that green line at the bottom. So at the above where the candles were, look how fast that dropped. So when those two lines are pretty much like holding hands in the meadow and jumping along, you know that that's going to be, man, that's going to be one quick sell. It's going to drop really fast because the two lines are pretty much parallel to each other and following each other.
Sorry.
So when I see
red
that
line, am I blind?
you can barely, it's very faint. So on the bottom graph where the green line is,
down where the RSI is. Oh,
Yeah.
I see it. Oh my gosh, I'm so blind. Sorry. I see
it's
it. I
hard.
see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a red line in
So
the
that
RSI?
Yeah, there's a red line there. You can barely see it.
Okay, I see it now. It's dotted, right?
It's dotted, yeah.
Okay, I see it. I see
Yeah,
it.
it's dotted. So when that red line follows that green line, like perpendicular to it, that means it's going in for what would be like a hard sell or a hard buy, meaning it's going to happen fast and it's going to happen within like 4 to 6 candles. So if you look above at where your candles are, because that green line and red line were perpendicular, like following each other down, look how those candles were long.
You have your RSI and MACD together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they followed because when they're right like that tight together in the exact same direction, then it's going to be a hard sell or a hard buy. So if we go over now a little bit, see here in the middle after the hard sell went down with those big long red candles, and then how had a lot of small candles up and down. It's because the bottom two lines, the red line, MACD line, and the green line, they weren't together. So they weren't following each other well enough. They were on the opposites. So when they're both on the opposite scales, then you know that it's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. But when they follow each other straight, it pretty much will go. I'm trying to see if there's another platform where it went like that. Here, when you had the green candles go up, see the line was pretty much perpendicular, went all the way up with it. And then on the bottom side, it came all the way down. They were pretty much parallel to each other, following the same movement. Does that make sense? Guys, it's hard for me to kind of show this without having a little mouse on here to be able to, on my cell phone, to show that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to watch this a few times again anyway, because this is awesome, by the way, guys.
Yeah, this is really good.
Great information.
Gold is, again, you can make so much money off of selling gold. Like I have a full-time job. I usually try to block my meetings off now. And I kind of make meetings with myself in my calendar, so I don't have work meetings between 9:30 and 11 now, just so I can trade on
work around the gold.
Yeah, it's true. So I started a series called Goldilocks in the 3 trades. So every day I try to take like 3 really good gold trades and then record it, just because I've been able to kind of follow how the trends are working now. And again, that bottom graph is so important because you can sit in gold for a long time. Like if I scroll over here, like you sit in it because it goes up and down, because it hasn't hit that 30% or 70% line to give you a clear indication of where it's going. But marking up charts and using this, and again, this is just on my metaphor trader that I mark it up on here, and I'm able to kind of, look back and forth as to like how this is going to move. And like Tiffany said, what I do is I go, because gold moves so fast. This morning, I think I was in a gold trade and it was like literally only 3 minutes. I actually work on the 1 minute chart a lot of times, because the 1 minute chart will tell me exactly what's going to happen in that length of time for those candles to happen. So, when I see long candles, I'll move to the 1 minute chart so that I can catch it and go up and down and up and down. And then if I get questionable, I'll move like back to the 15 minute to look at it, to say, okay, is this going to go in the right direction based on how the charts are working? But I move back and forth between them.
HFXing in gold? Okay. Holy.
No.
What? Game changer.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Walker?
Yes, go for it.
What are you using to get this 70-30%? Is it still is it a special program that you use where you can see this chart at the bottom?
No, so this chart on the bottom, if you click, of course, if I'm clicking on it, it's not going to show up right now. If you go to settings and you go to your charts, and then you're able to go into, where is it? Data window. Is it data window on here?
Are you
no, of course I've got
indicators?
And no, the indicators are right at the chart.
Yeah, click the F on the
Press the F. Yeah, the F.
Yeah, so F.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and then they're all going to be in there. So then that's where your main window, and then your indicator window is your bottom window. So on the bottom window is called your indicator. That's where I have the relative strength index, and then my MACD.
And you can make that
when you click in here
in there too.
Yeah, I've got to go in and try to make that so it's a little bit easier to see. But that's where you go. So it's my indicator window that you're going to see that where the MACD and the relative strength index are going to be able to pop up for you. And then when you go into there, you're able to just select it where you want it out of the options. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Have you ever tried to look at NAS?
Welcome.
Have you ever tried to look at NAS with that chart?
Say that again.
Well? Have you ever tried to look at NAS with that chart?
No, we don't try. I haven't traded NAS 100. Are you trading NAS 100, Sophia?
I used to do just NAS gold and US 30.
Yeah, those are the bangers. We're gonna get into US 30 next. I'm gonna take a training from Chester where we can all hop on. I just gotta get him because he likes to do them in the morning, but he's so random. So I'm trying to get him to pop up so we can just hop on his calls and run these trades up for US 30. I haven't been trading NAS 100, but I know US 30s are bangers.
NAS is the same, and I think they both moved in the same direction. So if one is selling, the other is selling. If one is buying, they both move
you guys,
the same direction.
I heard we're gonna love US 30 and NAS. It's just amazing.
Yeah, the person who is doing gold now, if you touch NAS or US 30, you're gonna love them. They move the same. They move fast, so you have to just put in your take profit and your stop loss and take it out. They really move fast, but that chart is really good to watch it and to really follow the pattern because they're basically the same. It's just to get that chart. If you can understand that chart, then we can kill this thing.
Facts.
Yeah, and you're so right because gold and US 30 and the NAS are all the same. I haven't dabbled in it yet. Like I just started doing some more research this week because I didn't realize how close they are in comparison to the gold. So it's like, you know what, master the gold, and then I'm like, time for me to look on and keep going because, man, it's just quick money. Like look at Tiff this morning. She took 2 trades and cleared $500, and that was in a matter, I want to say like it was less than 30 minutes or something like that she did that. Like it's just phenomenal. Again, it's taking multiple trades. Sometimes it's not about like putting in $1. It's, you know, take 2 or 3 trades at 70 cents or 50 cents or whatever your afford you.
Yeah, and you have to definitely put in your stop loss because I was doing gold one night. I made $15,000 in no time and I fall asleep. And when I got up, it was all gone. That's the time when it just dropped all the way down. I don't remember if you remember that time when gold, maybe you weren't doing it. It dropped so it surprised everybody, but I fall asleep. So you definitely have to put in a stop loss on gold, US 30 and NAS because they can move so fast.
We can't sleep. We're not sleeping. There is no sleeping.
Hold on. I was up 2 days straight.
Yeah, I'm crazy. Like
trading.
One thing I realized about Forex, that you can't sleep. Like it's
sad. Up for a week straight. We were up. Eyes were swelling. But then I was in the bed. That's a mistake. I was lying down and doing it.
Yeah. Because you want to get that because you're like, yo, if I like, you know, because you're scared. I have my alarm going off every hour from 2:30, 4:30, 5:30. I'm like, this is madness. But then when you cash out though, you're laughing.
I know, right? You're laughing when you
That's why it's like it's so worth it.
It does. It's worth it staying up. Trust me, it's worth staying up a week straight without sleeping. But you have to sleep because then you're gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Hello, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So, you know, when you were showing in your phone, like, you know, for 1 minute and 5 minutes chart. So what kind of pips are you taking, like for take profit and SL?
Tip, do you
so
want to
how many pips are you typically taking for take profit and SL?
So if you're because the lot sizes are at 1 lot size, right? At like a whole dollar. So to catch 86, just say it got to 1806.0. All we got to do is go to 1807.0. That's $100.
Right.
If it was a 0.1, that would have been $10.
Yes, that's what I noticed, that you are getting in and out so fast. So I mean,
and we don't have to go far. So that's what I'm saying. The more money you kind of have to play with, and you know if the market's moving for you, that's why I'm like, it's quicker to catch a quicker bag when you have a little bit more money to play with. Or if you're a risk taker and you're just gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna over leverage, but if you take the loss, you just got to be okay with that too.
Okay.
Also, too, you got to keep in mind, this is an amazing week for gold. So the NFP report, which is a non-farm payroll, so it's all the farmer market reports come out on the 1st of every month. That affects gold the most out of any news possible. So when that comes out on the first Friday of every month, that day and it's the best gold.
Okay, so today wouldn't be.
So it's kind of like, so right now the gold market's been up and down. Like there was a massive drop the other day and now it's going to massive high, kind of back market again. So I'm kind of like, now that, you know, 1 o'clock's passed, I'm going to stay away from gold for the rest of the day. But I actually put it in my calendar for Friday of month to look at on-farm report and to trade gold on that day. And then I actually have it like scheduled at the event so that I'm trading it for the whole week so that I remind, because it's the most profitable time of every single month, the first week following that report. It's amazing how much news impacts Forex trading.
Every other word you're saying is lost, but are you saying that the very first week of the month is the best week for gold?
The very first week, so when the NFP report, which is the non-farmer payroll report comes out, that's released on the first Friday every month. So that first day, so sometimes it ends up being the first of the month, sometimes it'll be like the third. That first Friday of every month, once that report is released in the afternoon, for one whole week is the best week to trade gold.
Okay.
Best time of the month.
Gotcha.
So that's what we just went through. That was this week. That's what we just had.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was huge, which is great. And again, don't get me wrong, gold is always a good trade to be on, but you know, if you're going to get into it, you should always know the calendar and how it follows with that pair. And it's always that first week of every month. And I'll send mine out. But you have to watch the news. Like the new, like following that Forex report is always really good. I've got that up and it shows me the news. Tiffany sends that out as well, where it shows the red folders and that. So it'll tell you if there's been a fluctuation somewhere and then when not to trade on it. So anything that has US dollar base is always going to affect gold drastically too. Did anybody else have any questions? Tiffany, we have a couple slides that we'll put out to you guys and we'll send them around just to kind of show the markup. Do it, especially on that bottom chart. I'll show you guys, like, I know this is hard to see on my phone, but when that green and red line, I'll kind of show you where the profit lines are on that bottom chart too. So what to look out for when you're trading it on your phone.
Hey, Lisa, you said for gold, you said the best time to trade is, you said 9:30 to about 1 p.m., right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
And the reason being is because gold was one of the first currencies ever introduced, it reflects towards every currency pair. So that's the one time of that time period between 9:30 is the one time period that crosses over all markets. So that's going to increase the value of gold, increase or decrease.
Right.
So that's why.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any other questions? One thing too,
Awesome.
Tiffany and I talked about too, if we post that we're going in on a gold trade and we put it, we'll make sure to let you guys know when we're coming out, but it moves fast. And once you get a signal like that we send out, that pretty much that signal's good for a good like 3 or 4 hours. So, you know, sometimes people will be like, oh, can we jump back in it? Just look at the take profit and the stop losses. And then you'll know where you're going in for a buy or a sell. When you look at the chart, then you'll know, hey, I'll be able to jump back in this or not. And then you'll be able to know how many pips you're going to look at too. So, you know, if we're doing a sell at 1803 and you see it and it's now at 1801, but the first take profit isn't until like 1790, you could still jump in. You're going to miss some pips, but you could still jump in. So one thing I always do sometimes, like I'll wake up late and I'll see a call out and I'll go back to the chart and I'll look to see where it's at. And again, gold, it's a repeat. It's literally on repeat from 9:30 to 1. So whatever signal we call out in the morning, it's pretty much that same signal from 9:30 to 1, up and down, up and down, up and down. So there you go. I hope that was helpful, you guys.
This was
That's
amazing.
great. Thank you.
That was excellent, actually. Excellent.
That was amazing. Thank
Guys,
you.
Lisa said,
So
Lisa
good.
for
I'm just
60
gonna
days,
do gold.
like 90. You guys are amazing, yo.
Such a pro.
Holy.
We have a good team, so we're all here to win.
Yeah, we have a great team. We have a great team.
But if you guys ever have any questions, reach out to me. And you know, if you have information that I'm missing too, like I'll have to say, I had no idea. Like I've been doing, I call myself Goldilocks the queen here. I had no idea market closed from 5 to 6. No idea, like right over my head, I have to say. So, you know, I'm still learning things too. So like, thank goodness somebody has said that to me, because I was naive to knowing that. Again, you know, I just look at this, I'm like, I'm in my 40s. I'm just glad I can learn new things every single day. But, you know, that's another point to keep in mind too, that the market does close between 5 and 6. So it can fluctuate and catch up with each other. So that's why it closes. So just a heads up on that. I should have mentioned that earlier too. The market does close and then it reopens, and it always reopens at what point you're at, but it can fluctuate a little bit too. So you've got to be careful, because if you're in for a buy or a sell, make sure that if you're in a trade, you're back on your phone at 6 o'clock to see where it's going, because it could directionally a little bit.
Yeah, when it starts back, it usually jumps. So if it's selling, it usually jumps down and then start again. So you definitely have to watch it, because if it goes your opposite direction, you have to take it out, or because it don't really start right at that point. I don't know why it usually skip and go up or down. So if you're in a buy and it starts in a buy, you're going to be up high. But if you're in a buy and then it starts in a sell, it's going to jump. That's what happened when it closed. And for NAS, it closed earlier, but you're not doing that now. So, but it closed earlier. The market closed earlier for NAS, not 5. So guys, question. Somebody was asking you about where you put the point. Hello? Hello? Are you hearing me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so somebody was asking, where do you put the point to take your profit? So do you do a dip and pips, or you just estimate where to take the point?
Okay, so on the larger account, so just say I think you probably missed it. So we just say we got in at 1806, right? 1806.0. And we're going in for, because we're on a dollar lot size, we hit 1807, just say .0. That's $100 for us, right? So, and we know that gold fluctuates up and down. So we know we can put gold like 5 to 6 times, making off a quick $600, $700, boom, off like that. So yeah, because we know it's so volatile, we're not over risking it. So meaning like, we'll probably make an extra 2, 3 on that run, but why be so greedy? Because we know we can keep grabbing them.
Okay.
So our method is more like we're taking partial because we know we can hit it again. Like we know we can hit it again. But there's that point, it hits that one up of that 1,000, and then it might just go boom, come back down. It may not go that under to get us to the next level. So that's why I think there's like a cutoff. You have, like, to me, I don't think we should be so greedy in it, because you know you can make that money quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
One more thing I would like to add. I don't know if anybody has noticed, like Forex trades, like, you know how from Friday 5 p.m. to Sunday 5 p.m. it's closed?
Yeah.
But gold opens at 6 p.m. on Sunday, not at 5. Because one time I was stuck over the weekend in gold and it didn't open at 5. So, and then I Googled it. So it opens at 6 p.m. on Sunday, not at 5, like other Forex pairs.
All right.
So just a note.
All you gold people like myself who's going to be locked in there, I'll know on Sunday at 6 p.m. to go back and check that. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to be out of 1 gold because we're almost at my profit. I mean, my entry. You think gold's going to hit 1820 today? You think gold's going to tap that? I need gold just to hit 1812. That's it.
Please, yes, let's go.
Just on that buy and then tank for my others. Yeah. Oh, all right, you guys, are we good?
Well, I think we're good. Yeah, I think today they said the highest point it should hit is about 812, and then it'll just going to drop, and it should drop down to about 790 at the lowest point for today. But again, remember the market closes at 5, so try to get out of anything if you can.
If you can.
Can you send the recording?
If you can.
Wait, I'm gonna.
But don't take loss.